15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club.
That's not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you gotta know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times.
Today, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him.
He never planned to start a war, but sometimes the truth forces itself into the light. Katt Williams walked into that interview knowing that once he opened his mouth, Hollywood would shake. He didn't blink. He didn't hesitate. He said what others whisper behind locked doors. He spoke like a man who had lost everything and now had nothing left to fear. He wanted the world to see the mask behind the smile everyone praises. He wanted people to question how a man can become a global sensation overnight. Was it pure talent, or a carefully chosen puppet? Katt looked into the camera and warned everyone that fame in Hollywood isn't earned. It's handed to those who obey.
Big Dick Deviance is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
And in that moment, the audience felt a storm brewing against someone no one ever expected. 4 years, people saw Kevin Hart as the unstoppable king of comedy. The theaters, the blockbuster movies, corporate sponsorships, his face plastered everywhere. His success looked like a dream. Meanwhile, Katt spent his life grinding through underground stages, building a cult following that adored him for raw honesty. Two comedians, two different worlds. One embraced by powerful hands that shape careers. The other punished for refusing to bend. Fans once laughed at both.
Accident.
The reason I don't do Big Tigger is because I had a tumor in my upper jaw and they had to take it out and they had to block the whole right of my sinus with a piece of metal. So ever since I got out the Marine Corps, I can only breathe out of one nostril, boy. I get my blood tested every 3 months for the last 15 years. All narcotic tests have come up 0.00%. I'm 44 years old, little Tigger. You look up my rap sheet. I have never had a DUI or a possession of anything, not even the I do every day. See, when you real, you can tell the truth about anything or
But now they were forced to choose which one was real. Because when truth and fame collide, somebody has to fall. And Katt promised that this time, the world wasn't ready for the truth he held inside him like a loaded gun. Katt wasn't just calling out behavior, he was calling out an entire system. He reminded everyone of how Hollywood humiliates black men by forcing them to cross personal lines, like dressing them up for cheap laughs. Katt swore he'd never betray his identity for applause. Kevin, on the other hand,
He then said that, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you wouldn't do, for...
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on the talk show this morning.
You look good
no to that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
Insisted no one ever pressured him into anything. He smiled and brushed off the allegations, saying he was just doing comedy the way it felt right. But Katt looked at that as selling out, as a man who handed over dignity in exchange for fame. That was the moment the world realized this fight wasn't about jokes. It was about pride, self-respect, and what a man is willing to sacrifice to reach the top. The more Kevin rose, the more Katt fell. Headlines turned against Katt like hungry wolves. Arrests, breakdowns, Scandals that seemed to happen one after another. Some people wondered how such chaos kept following him, while Kevin's path stayed spotless and smooth. Was karma punishing Katt? Or was someone pulling strings behind the scenes? Hollywood has a history of replacing the loud with the loyal.
Today, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
And Katt believed he was the loud one they needed to silence. He watched Hollywood crown Kevin as the new leader of comedy, and deep inside, a fire grew hotter. A fire built from betrayal, anger, and years of feeling overshadowed by someone he didn't believe deserved the throne. Then came the moment that changed everything. That explosive viral interview where Katt unloaded every secret he'd been holding back. He mocked the industry's golden child. He questioned why Kevin deserved everything he had. And he accused Hollywood of creating a superstar out of thin air.
A conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in a trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't even wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally, it's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. And then it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
Every word he said spread like wildfire across social media. Fans were shocked, confused, excited, but most of all, they were hungry for more. Katt wasn't just speaking out. He was exposing a blueprint, a map of how careers are shaped, how narratives are controlled, and how truth is buried when it threatens power. Hollywood wasn't laughing anymore. They were panicking. In a world run by deals and illusions, Katt wanted to show that some victories are illusions too. He said the industry doesn't promote the talented, it promotes the controllable. That's why when someone speaks too boldly, suddenly scandals appear out of nowhere. Suddenly, doors that were open slam shut. Katt promised he wasn't crazy, he was targeted. He wasn't bitter, he was done being quiet. And the public started to notice cracks in the perfect Hollywood story they believed for years. The idea that maybe Kevin didn't rise alone. Maybe someone lifted him.
And off making 85 million. I was over here not making 85 million. But it's all good. I don't mind $1 million a month and keeping my soul. And as long as Richard Pryor was able to be the king of comedy and a crackhead, they gonna continue to say maybe I am. But again, I urge you, and there's a you can do that'll get you Katt Williams level. You should OD on it tonight.
And maybe that someone wanted Katt buried beneath silence. Now the world watches as this war grows deeper. Katt refuses to back down. Kevin continues to build higher. Fans argue every day. Forming sides like this is a battle for comedy's future. One represents truth and rebellion. The other represents success and strategy. No one knows who will win, but everyone knows this fight isn't ending soon. Katt still has more secrets to spill. Kevin still has more power to protect.
male black comedians that I know personally that I put on tour who have a hard time getting a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A after they headline 7 shows at a club for $2,500 a week.
But people like real, and that's why they
is that
like
what
her.
they like?
They love real.
Because everybody's real then. So don't trip.
No.
Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to get...
And the industry is terrified about what happens if Katt decides to show every card he's been hiding. One thing is clear. The final punch hasn't landed yet. And when it does, Hollywood will never look the same again. The silence after Katt's accusations didn't last long. Hollywood couldn't ignore the fire he started, and every major network raced to discuss the drama. But what people didn't see was what happened behind closed doors, where powerful figures whispered Kevin's name like he was their last safe bet. They didn't want Katt's message spreading any further, because the truth has a way of infecting those who hear it. Kevin, meanwhile, kept his flawless reputation polished like gleaming armor. He stood in front of cameras with that confident smile, pretending none of Katt's words hit him. But those close to him knew he was shaken. A king never fears the peasants outside his castle. He fears the one who knows what happens inside. When a man risks his whole life to tell a story, maybe the story is worth listening to. But the biggest question still remains unanswered. Who is telling the real truth? Is Katt exposing what everyone else is too scared to say? Or is Kevin protecting himself from lies that could ruin the life he worked so hard for? Only time will reveal the real story behind the headlines. Until then, stay alert, because the next move could shock the entire industry. Comment what side you're on, drop your theories below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. The war isn't over. It's just beginning.